so for lesson 5, we're going to look at the third method of solving logs. I'm looking back at page 10 at this chart. We've done the first two. So now we're going to look at the third one where we have addition and subtraction of logs all on one side. To solve that one, we're going to use those properties that expanding, condensing, rewriting to write it as one log and solve it. So, on page 13. So here are our steps. We're going to condense it. We're going to rewrite it as one log. Then we're going to rewrite it using left, right, left. Then we're going to finally solve it. So if you look at the very first one, you've got two logs all on the same side separated by addition. So when you see that, you need to think condense it. We're going to make it a little bit smaller. We're going to make it into one log. So we're going to go from two logs down into one log. Alright, we also have addition, so that means we're going to multiply. So we're going to multiply 5x times x minus 1 equals 2. Alright, so we've condensed it. Now we're going to go left, right, left to get rid of that log. So, because there's not a number here, remember it's understood to be 10. So left, right, left. Alright, now we can solve. 10 squared is 100, and I can distribute 5x to everything in those parentheses. Now, that x squared is not going anywhere, so I want to set it equal to 0. So I'm going to move my 100 over. Alright, now if I look at 5, 5, and 100, I've got a GCF. So I can take out that greatest common factor of 5 and see what's left. And it'll make it a little bit easier to factor. Okay, now with this part, I can still do my x method. So I'm going to do my x method, and I get x minus 5, x plus 4. Now I'm going to set each factor equal to 0. If I set 5 equal to 0, that means nothing. So that one goes away. That doesn't count as part of my answer. But I can set x minus 5 equal to 0 and x plus 4 equal to 0. And I get x equals 5 and negative 4. Okay. Number 2. So even though it's a natural log, I'm still going to condense it like I would anything else. So I'm going to go from 2 natural logs down to 1. And I've got subtraction, so that means I need to divide. So x plus 2 over x minus 4 equals 5. Now we're going to rewrite it. So whenever I see a natural log, I'm going to rewrite it using e, because of that log base e. So I've got e to the 5th equals this whole thing. Alright, to get e in your calculator, you go to Shift LN, and that gives you the e to the whatever power. And you can just type in 5. So because that's a really big decimal, I'm going to round it. And depending on how you round, might mean your answers get a little bit different. So, e to the 5th, I'm going to round it to 148.4 equals 2 over x minus 4. Now, I want to get this x minus 4 out of the bottom. Got to get it to the top anyway so I can solve. So I'm going to get it out of the bottom by multiplying both sides by x minus 4. So that's going to cancel. Then with this other side, this over here, I'm going to have to distribute. So that gives me 148.4x minus, now I'm going to distribute that to the negative 4, 593, and I'm rounding it all. 6. When I multiplied by that x minus 4, it went away on this side, so I'm just left with x plus 2. Now, even though my numbers are a little bit ugly, I can still solve it the same way I would if it was normal answers. So I'm going to add 593.6 to both sides to get x all by itself. And I'm going to subtract this x from that side. So I've got 147.4x equals 1.6. Last step would be to divide. And x is equal to 4.04. Anytime you involve an e, your answer is going to be really messy, like those big decimals and stuff. Okay, let's look at an easier one. All right, number 3. So I've got just a basic log x minus log 2. So I'm going to condense that down into 1. And I've got subtraction, so that's going to be x over 2 equals 1. Now I'm going to rewrite it using left, right, left. So because there's nothing there, it's understood to be 10. So 10 to the first equals x over 2. 10 to the first is just 10. And we'll get that 2 out of the bottom by multiplying. And x is equal to 2 times 10, which is 20. Okay, number 4. We'll condense. I've got subtraction again, so I'm going to have division. So log base 9 over x plus 6 over x equals log base 9 of 2. Now, after I condense it, I hope you notice that you've got logs on both sides. So that same rule from that very first type of log we solved comes into effect. If you ever have logs on both sides, I can just drop them. And leaves me with that. So now I'm going to get x out of the bottom. I'm going to multiply it just to get rid of that fraction. So x plus 6 equals 2x. I'm going to move x over. And x is equal to 6. Okay. Number 5. We'll condense it down. I've got subtraction again, so I'll have division. Alright, then I'm going to use left, right, left, and rewrite it. Because I don't have that natural log on both sides, that's when you go back and you rewrite it using left, right, left. That second method we looked at. So e squared, because remember it's natural log, so that becomes e. 3x minus 1 over 7. So e squared, I'm going to type that in my calculator and I'm going to round it. And I'm just going to round it to 7.4. Alright, I'm going to get 7 out of the bottom by multiplying. That'll cancel out. Then that will give me 51.8 is negative 3x minus 1. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So 52.8 equals negative 3x. Then I'm going to divide by 3, or by negative 3. And x is equal to negative 17.6. Now, depending on how you rounded, your answers might differ just a little bit. But as long as they're still in the ballpark, we're good to go. Alright, last 2. Top of page 14. Alright, I'm going to condense down into one natural log. I don't have a natural log on both sides, so I'm going to rewrite it using left, right, left. So that will become e to the 5th is 4x plus 1 over 3. E to the 5th, I'm going to round that to 445.2. Alright, we'll get 3 out of the bottom by multiplying. That cancels out. Oh, whoops. Jumped ahead. subtract my 1. And I'm going to divide by 4, and x equals 111, either 0.1 or 0.05, either one. Alright, I'm going to rewrite it. Make sure you condense it first before you go back and cancel out all those natural logs. I'm hoping some of you are looking at the original problem and seeing all the natural logs on both sides of the equal sign. Condense it first, then you can cancel them out. So, once I condense, I've seen natural log on both sides, I'm going to cancel. So I'm going to get this denominator